Hello students, today we will continue with your chapter 3, that is Rise of Nazi in Germany. Now you turn your book to page 40. Hitler's rise to power. Adolf Hitler was born in 1889 in Austria into a lower middle class family. After his father's death, Hitler took up political work in Munich during the month of May-June 1919. So, as an army political agent, he joined the small German Workers' Party in Munich. During the First World War, Hitler was enlisted in the German army. And after Germany is defeated in the war and the humiliating Treaty of Versailles, Hitler joined active politics and exploited the volatile situations in Germany. So in 1925, he published Mein Kampf, My Struggle, which combined elements of his autobiography with his political ideology. Okay? Hitleran tunay na aron nei chawtran. Adolf Hitler hi kum 1889 akhan Austria pianga middle class mi van tlang in kara seilia na niya apati no hian Munika ramro rel na thok chawin sipai zinga ramro rel dan khoitu ania wangin ngai hlut kha hlo chawtran hle ani tichuan German Workers' Party te kha zoma indo pui pakhat nak a thlen lai vel khan Hitler hi German sipai naran ve mai ania indo pui pakhat na khan German kha za thak taka hne an ni hnu khan Hitler khan in German ram tun din le nan tin thanem ngai takin politics alu chilta ni mo tichuan German ram bumal lo takom kha waisen takin a bei chhota a chuan kum 1925 a khanin ama mimal chanchin ziana le sarkaro rel dan tur ama mimal ril rusu khlek dan te kha aziak ta ni chu chumi chu Mein Kampf kan ti kha ni chuan omzia chu my struggle ti na ni ya means my struggle means thei top chua be na ti na ni. Okay, next we go to founding of the Nazi party. After the First World War, Hitler joined a small group of young men to form the German Workers' Party in 1919. This group promoted Germans' pride and anti-Semitism, and they expressed their dissatisfactions with the terms of this Treaty of Versailles of 1919, the peace settlement that ended the First World War. And this treaty required Germany to make numerous concessions and reparations. Hitler became the leaders of this party in 1921, and in 1929, Germany entered a period of severe economic depression again, and a widespread unemployment driven by despair. The unemployed youth, bulk of lower middle class, landed aristocrats and the industrial capitalists turned towards this Nazi. So, in the 1932 elections, they captured 230 out of 608 seats in the Reichstag, let's say German's parliament. In 1933, Hitler assumed absolute power under Nazi rule. All these other political parties were banned, and in 1933 the Nazis opened their first concentration camp in Dachau. So here a large number of people were arrested and sent to this concentration camp, and thousands of Jews died from this malnutrition, disease and overwork or were executed. Hitler, he considered members of other groups as unfit for new Germany. So that was the situations of Germany during those period. Hitler khanin Nazi party aron din chawa indo pui pakhatna athlen nu khanin Hitleran German thalai rualte azom a German Workers' Party kha 1919 na khan an din ta ni an ram kha an choi sangin an chuang hle a ti chuanin an rama semite nam sema thla te juda ho kha an do ta ni mo chuan chumi pialama chuanin treaty of Versailles an sign chung changa khanin an lung oilo na te kha an soi chuak ta a an ram hlau te mo an ram op te an hlau dan te khan han soi chuaka le Germany na zang na dom na apek dan te khanin phubalak du na an lo nei lian tel ta ni ti chuanin kum 1921 a khanin Hitler a khanin party leader ni na aron chelta a ti chuanin 1929 chhobor vel khanin tlak chiat na kha nasat tak khanin German rama khanin a thleng le ta ni ti chuan German thalai rual te na tho tur nei lo tam takan lo punga heta tang hianin middle class te aristocrats te industrial capitalist ten Nazi party hi anbel ta ni ti chuan 1939 a khan German ram khan in than pui an nei ta a Hitler le apol te khan in seat zaruk pariat a khan seat zani somthum lai mai kha an lata ni German parliament a khanin parliament mingchu an parliament mingchu Reichstag ani parliament means ro rel na hmun in tinani Nazi ro rel na hnuaya khanin political parties dang song kha an khap vek ta ni ti chuanin 1933 kum khanin concentration camp masaper kha da chawa khanin an din ta ni an hong ta ni means concentration camp means a place where people were isolated and detained without due process of law. He sent his enemies in this game. Ke Hitleran a mel mate a khung khom na tinani cho mitam takha an man khoma mo chumi concentration camp a chuanin an da ta thina ni abik takin Jewish ho khanin an tuar na sa hle a Shri wangte eitur cha mumal nei lawa wangte le na tho na salu tu ka wangte khanin an thia ne chen phei chu an ti lumani Hitler khanin German ram ami le sa ni lo Aryans thani lo khachu German ram din thar le na khanin an tling lo ani ate ni chu chuan let's next we go to this Nazism's youth and women. Hitler failed that strong Nazi society can only be established by teaching children Nazi ideology. So, schools were cleansed and purified, means teachers who were Jewish were dismissed. Undesirable children like Jews, physically handicapped and gypsies were thrown out of the schools. And finally, in 1940, they were taken to gas chambers. Racial science was introduced to justify Nazi ideologies of race in schools. So in 1933, women who bore undesirable children were punished, and those who bore desirable ones were awarded. So all Aryans women who deviated from the code of conduct were condemned and punished. A harsh punishment was given to the women. Okay. Hitler khanin Nazi party ti changtlung tur chuanin ti nget so nget nan chuanin ama sapera no pang le thalai rual te hi Nazi kalphung kanin zirti rangai ani ati ti chuan school te kha an thian fai ta ne Jewish naupang te Jewish teachers zirti tu te le rual ban lo te gypsies kan ti chuanin gypsies te chu om na hmun khuar nget velova wak vai chiang te kha khang kha school kal kha an rem ti talawani school a thleng khanin an hnam kal phung kha anin zirtir ta ne ti chuanin 1933 chhobor vela phei chuanin meichhia in hnamdang lakafa ashin phei chuanin nat takin an shem thin ani arrange meichhia rengin dan an bo chhia chuanin an shem na chin hle ani. Oh, okay. Next, impact of the Nazi treatment of the Jews. The Nazi dictatorship was formally established on 1st May 1933. It was decreed of the new Nazi government that only Aryans would occupy civil or military posts. Jews were arbitrarily dismissed from government institutions, and large numbers of Jews were fled abroad, and those who could not flee suffered the extermination driven of Hitler. Okay, and next let's see the crueltiest practice by the regime. It is apparent that Hitler's unending ambitions and consequent heavy militarizations of Germany were largely responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. So, when the Second World War was in progress, Hitler extended his hatred towards these foreign territories like Poland. Like in Poland, thousands of these Jews were killed. Okay. Nazi rorel na kha April ni khat 1933 atangi na inchana Nazi sarkar thara khanin thuchuan siamani Aryans thate chiain civil le military post anwa thayang ti khan siama Jewish te ro chu dan momal nei lovin le anom tir ni mo sarkar na po pakhat ma an tot an chel tir ve du lova Jewish tamjok chuanin an sahim na tur zongin ramdang an panani ti chuan tlan chia na tur nei ve lo te chu Hitler le a hoten na takin an tor tirin an timangani chuan alan dan chuanin Hitler hi anun ron lutu ka wangin le atum san lutu ka wangin military lama khan na satakin an hnuglet ta ni mo indo pui panhi na chok chuak tu mo phur tu ber annia indo pui panhi na chuanin malam panzelin Hitler la chuanin foreign rambung sang khanin a huat na atizawa polena peichuanin Jewish mi asang tel te me kha athat ane. Lastly, let's go to the concentration camp. It is estimated that over 10 millions were killed by the Nazis using various methods. Concentration camps were set up where anti-fascists and Jews were imprisoned under the most inhuman conditions and were ultimately either killed or allowed to die in great pains. So let's see the ends of the regime. Eventually, as the Allied powers continued their onslaught in the Second World War, Hitler's army started suffering setbacks. So ultimately, when defeat was inevitable, Hitler committed suicide on 30 April 1945. And then, finally, Germany surrendered in May 1945, and Germany was thoroughly demilitarized, and the country was divided into 4 zones. Ole. Atop na tan Hitler concentration camp. Ahmel makhungkhom na kha han en le lokila. Anchu dan pei chuanin Hitler le aho te khanin Jewish mi kha million somvel manro chi sang mangin athat ani ante mo concentration camp a khanin Jewish mi an khungnem pera nun rong takle khongai na le lai na tel mi alawin Jewish ho kha an soisane an thata a then phei chu she omle na tak tor tirin an thi pha hial ani chuan atom na chuanin Allied powers ten cholovin an beizela Hitler le asipai ten harsat na an tok chhotan atopa chuanin pumpel thailo khopat tlom na alo thleng ta ni ti chuan an ne tak si lawa chuanin Hitler ngei pokha April ni somthum 1945 akhan ama lema a in tilhum ta hialani ti chuan Germany po tlomin asipaite Allied powers in an khwa kirsak feka German chu rambial lia chenin Rambial Lia Khanin Chen Alo Nitani Khati Zongkha Rise of Nazi in Germany chu ni tikhan chapter 3 kan zo. Thank you all.